Hey guys, we're going to learn about compound interest today. So we're going to start with the formula, which is A equals P parentheses 1 plus R to the T power. A stands for our total, which is our principal plus our interest, and this is going to be in the form of money. P equals principal, and that's the money invested or saved, and I went back and added it's also the money borrowed since I left it off, and it's also in the form of money. So if grandma gives you $500, and you want to put that in a savings account, that is money that you've saved. If you borrow money to buy a car, that is borrowing. That's my principal. Rate is our percentage, and we have to change it to a decimal. T is going to be our time, and it's going to have to be in years. And I, even though it's not in our formula, we're still going to figure it out. It's our interest, and we find this by doing total minus our principal. And it's in the form of money. If you think about it, you find out your total you're going to be paying back, then you take out the money that you'd borrowed, and that just leaves you with your interest. So for the example, when I went ahead and wrote the formula down, I'm going to do that for each of them. For every question that you work on your own, you are going to write the formula. And then you're going to plug it in. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in. So my principal is 3,000. I'm going to do 1 plus 0.05. The reason it's 0.05 is because I have to change it to percent. Sorry, I am sitting outside making this video, so you might hear cars drive by. So from here, I'm going to use either my calculator or my computer, which I'll pull up mine because I want you to kind of see. Mine's in my start menu. And when it comes up, it's in scientific, but it's in standard, but I can change mine to different kinds. And scientific gives me the exponents that I need. But I'm going to use the one on my iPad or phone. If you need to borrow a calculator, just send me an email and we'll talk about getting one to you. All right, so I'm going to start with my parentheses first. So 1 plus 0.05 is just 1.05, and it is really hard for me to do decimals. So sorry if they look all kinds of funky. Trying. Writing on my computer screen is tough anyways. And then from here, this is where my calculator comes in. So I'm going to do 1.05 to the third power. Now, the reason I'm starting there, because that's my exponent. In parentheses, we do parentheses first, then exponents, then we do multiplication, division, and then we do addition, subtraction from PEMDAS. I'm sure y'all remember that. So 1.05 to the third power is 1.157625. I want to leave it like that. So in my calculator, instead of typing that number again, I'm just going to hit the multiplication button, and it's going to automatically multiply times that first number. So then I'm going to do times 3,000. And because it's money, I am going to round to the second digit after my decimal. And so I have 875, and that 5 tells my 7 to get up. So there's my A. Now to find my interest, remember I'm going to take my A, so that 3,000, I'm going to write up here, 3,472.88. And I'm going to subtract out that 3,000. So what I'm doing is that's the total that would be in my account if this was a savings account after it earned its interest and sat there. But I'd put 3,000 of it in it. So I can subtract these to find out my interest. Sorry, decimals are so hard. And it earned that much interest, or I borrowed that much interest. All right, we're going to go to example 2. All right, for example 2, I already wrote down my formula. I already plugged it in. So 250 parentheses 1 plus 0.06 to the 7th power. I went ahead and combined my stuff with my parentheses to kind of make this video not forever long. So I'm going to do 1.06 to the 7th power. Now, if you have x to the y power written on your calculator, that's where you can put in any exponent you want. Some of you have the little carrot top or the little rooftop that we've used in class. When I do this, I get 1.50363025899, depending on how many decimals your calculator goes to. I'm going to keep that in there, multiply it times 250, and I am going to get an A of 375 0.907, and that 7 tells my 0 to get on up. My interest will be my A minus my P. So I'm going to do 375.91. Sorry, decimals are so tough to do on this. Luckily, I know y'all are a very forgiving group of students. And I get an interest of 125.91, which is pretty good. But you got to think, it's 6% interest rate, which isn't bad. We talked about how that's not a bad one. And 7 years is a long time to let it sit there. All right, let's go on to example 3. So again, I went ahead and wrote our formula down. I went ahead and plugged it in, but I do want to take a break, and I want you to see that rate is 3.5%. And I've had some of you that have told me, oh, it's already got a decimal. It does have a decimal, but it's not in decimal form, okay? It is a decimal in the percent form. So I need to still move my decimal over, which is 0.035. Go ahead and add that to my 1. Go ahead and do parentheses. And then from there, I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to do 1.035 to the second power. And I get 1.071225. Of course, you may have more or less digits. And then I'm going to just multiply that times 700. Some of you may be getting the hang of this because you're thinking, oh, it's just plugging it into a formula. It's the same process. That's why we normally like formulas. So I get 749, and then for my decimals, I get 857. So I know the 8's going to stay, but that 5 is going to go up because the 7 tells it to. We got to remember our rounding rules. There's my total. So in this example, let's say I borrowed $700 from the bank. They charged me 3.5% interest, and it took me 2 years to pay them back. In the total, after 2 years, I would have to pay $749.86 because remember, they tack on that interest. So now I want to find out, well, exactly how much interest am I paying? So remember, I'm going to do my total minus my principal. So I'm going to do $749.86 minus 700. So I am paying $49.86. Can't get that decimal to show up. There we go. In my interest, okay? All right, 4, 5, and 6, we're going to look at some word problems. So let's go ahead and head over there. All right, so I went ahead and did a little setting up, and we'll talk about that after we read the problem. Julie wants to invest the money that she got from graduating college. So she got $5,000 from graduation, wants to invest it in an account that compounds annually with a compound interest rate, 2%, and she plans to leave it there for 5 years. How much will Julie have in her account after 5 years? And how much interest did the account earn? All right, so my formula, sorry, the R is messed up. And then I wrote out my variables because when you do this one on your own, you're going to have to fill in the variables for me. So it tells me we're going to have to find the total. Now, it doesn't use the word total, but it does tell me how much is going to be in that account after 5 years. So I don't know my A. My principal, she started off with $5,000. My rate is 2%, and I'm going to go ahead and change that to a decimal because I'm one of those people who makes really silly mistakes in math. Some of you have already figured it out. My time is 5 years. And again, I'm going to have to wait to find my interest. All right, so let's go ahead and do a plug-in. We're still going to have to plug in. So principal is 5,000. 1 plus 0.02. Oh, those daggum decimals. Sorry. I don't know why it's not letting me write decimals. It's the weirdest thing. Maybe another math teacher's had better luck and I should ask them. All right, so I went ahead and added my 1 plus my 0.02. This is the same exact thing, except for now I'm actually have to figure out my variables. So it is a little bit harder. So I do 1.02 to the 5th power. Common mistake is people don't follow order of operations. If we were in our classroom with our nice calculators, we could put that whole thing in, and some of our calculators we still could, and it would work order of operations for us. But to be safe, I'll go ahead and do the exponents, then I do the other part. And then I'm gonna multiply that times 5,000. And we get a total of $5,520.40. To find my interest, we will go back and we'll plug that in. Sorry, it might be off the screen a little bit. Sorry. To find my interest, remember I'm going to take that $5,520 and I'm going to subtract out the 5,000. So it's $520.40. So Julie earned $520.40 off of that investment of keeping in that account for that long. It was a low interest rate of 2%, but we still earned $500 because she left it there for 5 years. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at example 5. All right, Sarah took out a loan to buy a car. The car cost $15,000 and was compounded at an interest rate of 6%. Sorry. How much will Sarah pay back in all if it takes 5 years to pay off her loan? And then how much interest? All right, so we have our principal, which is $15,000. We have a rate of 6%, which we're going to change to a decimal, so 0.06. Our time is 5 years. I'm going to come and plug it in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my parentheses. All right, so I'm going to do 1.06 to the 5th power, and I get 1.33822, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to hit times 15,000. Mistake some of you have been making when we were back in class is you didn't make sure you put 3 zeros there. So be sure you're putting it in your calculator right, because we want the calculator to work for us, but we have to put it in correctly. What I like about this question is it's very real world, and if you ask your parents, most of them, I venture to say probably all of them, have had to borrow money for a car or a house. And so even though Sarah bought that car for $15,000, at a 6% interest rate, which is a normal car rate interest rate, and took 5 years to pay it off, which is a normal amount of time to take to pay a car back, she's going to be paying $20,000 on that car, which is important. Why? Sometimes if you can pay in cash, it's way better. That was a big thing we were going to talk about coming back was the benefits of paying in cash and comparing different interest rates, but it's kind of hard to do this way. Oh, do not mean to put A. So I'm going to put I is going to equal my total minus my principal. So $20,073.38 minus the $15,000 she borrowed means that her interest, so this is just extra she's paying on it. Piece of advice for adulthood: pay off things as quick as possible, because then you don't pay as much in interest. If she paid it back in 4 or 3 or 2 years, then that interest would be a lot less and she can save a lot of money. All right, let's very quickly do number 6 together. All right, since I'm short on time, I want you to work this one on your own. Pause the video and unpause it when you've done it, and I'll have the answer there for you. All right, so I hope you got those answers. I do want you to notice that a $30,000 loan over 6 years at an 8.5% interest rate is going to be $18,944 just in interest. So Mary will be paying, instead of $30,000 for that boat, she'll be paying almost $49,000. Of course, I will be on Zoom if you have questions. Email me, text me, whatever you need to for questions. Bye, guys.